Time for another video. I finally got a replacement on my GoPro. My GoPro 8, which was sitting in a box for 2 years and I finally used, took a crap on me. And GoPro was pretty good. I took a chance to see if they'd back up their product, and they did. After analyzing the problem with my old GoPro, they replaced it with the GoPro 12, which I'm using now finally, so I can do videos while I'm actually engaged in activity instead of using my phone. And they gave me a pretty good deal. You still have to pay a little bit. Paid like $90. Anyways, I wanted to do a short video today on what everybody's talking about, which is the Charlie Kirk assassination. And the first thing I want to say is, yeah, I've been a lawyer active for 30 plus minus years. I'm retired now. But if you're a defense counsel for the Tyler Robinson person who is accused, you're gonna have a field day getting him off. He's gonna get off. There's no two ways about it. He's not gonna be convicted. And you may say, well, why? And that's because all you have to do as defense counsel is plant a reasonable seed of doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the standard in a criminal matter. It's not preponderance of the evidence. It's not clear and convincing evidence. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt. And there are so many inconsistencies with what happened to Charlie Kirk, not the least of which was if a 30-06 was truly used. Anybody that knows how to hunt or shot guns and long rifles knows that the damage caused by that cartridge and shell would have blown his neck to smithereens, not just left some kind of tiny little hole that he was bleeding out. And then the FBI miraculously finds it in the forest, the rifle fully assembled, but there's no footage of the Robinson leaving the building or jumping off the roof with a fully assembled rifle. And those rifles, a Mauser, takes a lot of effort to assemble and disassemble. Something's amiss. Something's not making sense there with that. Then when you add that Charlie's normal security detail wasn't active that day, it was an Israeli security detail. It's suspicious. You know, if you look at X, Twitter, whatever, and places where people have freedom to talk, freedom of speech, thanks to Elon, most people suspect Israel is behind it. Were they? I don't know. But either they were or they weren't. But the inconsistencies are unbelievable. Then you look at what Candace Owens is exposing, that Charlie was in fear for his life from what he thought was Israel going to take him out, because he finally figured out that Israel's not our ally. They're our worst enemy. They infiltrate our government with fifth columnists, our media, our financial system. And when you look at AIPAC, which is their foreign agent lobby, which is not registered under the Foreign Agent Lobby Act, FARA, you know, they have that much power, so much power that they intimidate everybody, you know, because of money. You know, we're going to give money to the opposition candidate, we'll have you unelected, we'll primary you, blah, 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 blah. Congress is controlled. Anyways, I digress, but back to Charlie. you got to look at all the different pieces of evidence, you know, circumstantial at this point, because the FBI is not releasing anything. But it's totally impossible, in my estimation, that the story being told is accurate. Something else occurred, and for that to happen in the way that it happened, and then a day later they're paving over the murder spot. Literally, the construction crews came in there and redid everything. Something else was going on there, and I think it has to do with what Candace Owens is exposing, which was Charlie was going to go off the reservation with regards to Israel. And excuse me. And that's, you know, the emails that were released by her, or, you know, the colloquy. You have motive, you have opportunity, and you have ability. And I think, if I had to guess, and it's just a guess, this thing was a state operation to take him out. And there doesn't seem to be any better candidate than Israel. But who knows? I don't know. But the long story short, Charlie was really important to the younger generation, and the fear that I believe Israel had that he would stop taking Jewish oligarch money, which he was, and was being cut off right before he was taken out, and would start to expose what I consider the truth of the relationship Israel has with the United States, was something impermissible for them. And the reason for the Israelis, because they've already lost the younger generation. It would just cement it. And that means no more aid. You know, $31 billion we've given them last year, in this year. $31 billion. And if you count the Iraq War, fought for Netanyahu when he was in power, because he's been in and out of power as Prime Minister of Israel, we've given trillions, the T. Think what that would do for our schools. Students going to college that have government student loan debt, the homeless, vets, people living under the bridges and under the overpasses, our schools, our roads. It's sickening what's going on. And it's all because of bribery and extortion and money. The root of all evil is money. And it's got to change, and I think that we're in an Overton window of change, and you can call it the fourth turning or whatever, but it's happening. And one of the ramifications is there's going to be a split between us and Israel that's long overdue. I'll leave it here for now. Thanks for listening.